Hey guys, what's up? Serena Appiah here from thriftdiving.com, and today's project is really fun because we're going to take a pile of discarded thrift store belts and do something a little cool with them. And if you don't have a Father's Day gift, you might want to put this on your to-make list. Let's jump into it right now. So I went to my favorite thrift store, which is Unique Thrift, also known as Savers, and they had a huge selection of leather belts. I mean, 100% leather belts. I picked up an entire stack of them and had this great idea with this picture frame. Why don't we make a mail organizer, right? Incoming and outgoing mail needs a place to live. So I got all of these belts in different colors, different thicknesses, and I thought, you know what? This is going to be really cool to line this picture frame with the belts. So the first thing I did was to remove all the paper in the back, and then also removed the picture frame wire. That needed to go because we're going to replace that. Now, you'll want to use a flathead to just lift those prongs and take out whatever's inside. Now, this part here, the white part, that cardboard, you want to keep that. We need that. This cardboard, we can just put that aside, and just be very careful. If your picture frame has glass, you don't want to crack that. We don't need it. Go ahead and put it aside. All right, we need to spray paint this frame because I am really not a golden oak kind of person. I like picture frames to be either like a white or colorful or dark. Well, this one is a dark walnut, and once it dried, it was time to cut the belts. So these belts, because they're leather, they have a little bit of stretch to them, and what I did was just try to create a right angle on the end and determine how big I needed them to be. So once one was cut, I could pretty much use that as an indicator of how wide this needed to be. And so then I just started to lay them. And I really didn't know if this project was going to work, but it just sounded cool. And I thought, we're going to make this work. All right, so you see here that I'm just using one whole belt and just cutting it into strips. Now, I'm not going to want to put them all together. I'm actually going to want to change them up a little bit. So maybe a black belt, maybe a black belt, maybe a brown. And you see that I'm kind of organizing them here, trying to create some kind of pattern. And there was some that was actually pretty thin, and I loved the various shades of browns and couldn't wait to get this thing started. All right, so that foam part that you saw me remove a couple of seconds ago, we're going to spray paint that too because we still need to put that into the back of the frame. So that also got a coat of dark walnut, and now it was time to move on to the glue. Now, this isn't a sponsored post, but I just wanted to show you this part because this is where I kind of screwed up a little. I started inside mixing this epoxy and it smelled horrible, which it does. And I tried to line the edge with some of this epoxy, but you see here, it's actually not going very smoothly. When I turned it over, it was seeping out. I tried to wipe it up and I thought, this is not gonna work. Super glue would have been better. So I do tell you that if you want to use glue, you can. Just don't use epoxy because it takes a little while to dry and you need this to set immediately. Here's another option. You could use the Gorilla Clear glue. I've used this before and it does work. The problem is that I couldn't find my glue. I could only find my upholstery stapler. And I like that it got really in close to the corners, but when I turned it over, those long staples shot out through the other end and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do this. Well, I kept going and I came up with this idea. So you'll see that I've got a piece of belt, leather belt on the back that's sort of like this strip that's holding it all in. Doing that helped me to create sort of a thicker belt so that the staples wouldn't go through. After that, I didn't have any problem with the staples going through, which was really, really good. But I'm stapling onto thin wood, so you just got to be careful. I would recommend that you definitely use glue, but if you do have an upholstery stapler that allows you to get real close to that edge the way that I am, then that will work. Just make sure you don't blow through the other side. Now you see here that I'm putting more belts on, trying to create kind of like a little pattern. And when that was done, it looked pretty good on one side, and then it was time to turn it over, but oh my gosh, I split the freaking frame. So I didn't show you this part, but what I did was I removed the blue mat, the silicone mat that was underneath. I think that was contributing to it. And I also just put a little bit of glue and then tried to spray paint it again in order to cover the crack. So it kind of worked. And anyway, when it was done, it looked pretty good. I had pieces of belt all around, and now it was time to put on the metal tag. Now you've seen me do metal stamping before, so I will leave details down below and you can click up there in the corner and watch some of the stamping that I've done before. But this was going to be the perfect project to make a little tag that says Happy Father's Day, and surprisingly I got it on there pretty straight. Now, you'll also need some little nails, some little tacks. I had some left over from a previous project, so I just tacked it onto the bottom of the frame. And then you'll need some ink. Now, the ink basically settles into the grooves, and once it settles and you wipe it away, now you can see your stamped art a little better. And that spray painted back, that needs to go on the back again because this will help to prevent the mail from slipping down. And we're just going to screw on a couple of D-rings, and now we are ready to hang it. So what started as a pile of discarded belts from the thrift store, which by the way, one of those belts is my husband's. Now we have this unique way to, upcycle belts. And this is cool if you've got someone in your life, in your family, maybe they had a huge pile of belts and maybe they passed on and you want to do something with them. This is a great way to repurpose them into something else so that you can hold on to that little piece of history, or just get them from the thrift store like I did. And you can do this with really colorful belts. You can do it with black and brown, and you can add some little holders so that you can put your keys on it too. So overall, I love this project. It's super simple, and you can get it done in probably just about an hour or two. So that's it. All you have to do is get a pile of belts, make this project, and you have an awesome Father's Day gift, and you upcycled something from the thrift store. So if you like this project, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to go to thriftiving.com and subscribe. I give you 5 ebooks, printables, and checklists, and I will see you next video.